What up, people? It's your boy Ryan Leaf over here. Welcome back to the Dugout Podcast. Hey, what up, yo? Hope you guys are all good. Hope you guys are all safe and just taking it easy and looking after yourselves. I'm just taking it easy as well. I had a good workout this morning. It was lit. I'm using the Nike training app. It's pretty useful to like a little high intensity core and like leg workout. Pretty cool. But I hope you guys are all safe and just looking after yourselves, yeah? It's been a very weird time with the coronavirus pandemic as everyone's kind of just stuck in their houses. Some people aren't working out, some are looking after themselves, some are working remotely, some aren't. It's a big vacation for other people, but nonetheless, I hope you guys are all safe. So, let's get into the football. Guys, let's just talk about Premier League project restarts. So, the Premier League have been having votes to play games at neutral venues, and they've been wanting to play games at venues that are central for all the clubs to meet at, and not like all the venues are going to be open, just about 3 or 4 venues where they can stage multiple Premier League games at the same time. And the Premier League have voted for the league to return by mid-June. So players were supposed to be training from the middle of May. I think we've seen now with La Liga, they've been training with the Bundesliga, they've been training as well, and the Premier League has been wanting to kickstart their trainings sessions pretty soon. So I think there's just been a bit of a haggle with regards to where do they play their games. I think the top 15 Premier League clubs have actually voted for playing at neutral venues, and it's just been the relegation clubs that have been voting against this. So Aston Villa, Norwich and Bournemouth have voted against playing at neutral grounds. I think we've even seen Brighton's board even coming out and saying that we shouldn't be playing football at all. We should be waiting for a safer time. You know, the funny thing is that opinion has been, it's very skewed because they were very much in favour to null and void the league because it didn't include relegation. And now playing games at neutral venues does include the fact that their clubs could be relegated. So I think it's a very weird stance to have, that they were all for null and voiding the league and removing all kinds of certainty from different positions of different clubs. They were all for that, but now because we've actually put relegation back on the table, they've now taken a very big back step and don't want to play at neutral grounds. They don't want football to actually restart at all. So the Premier League was supposed to restart around mid-June and end by the end of July. That was the plan. That is the plan. The biggest haggle now is getting all 20 Premier League clubs to vote in favour of playing football to conclude the season at neutral venues. That has been the biggest haggle. All 20 Premier League clubs are battling to find an agreement to move forward and find a solution to this this crisis we're having in football. I think football's made the correct stance by wanting to conclude the season. You know, I heard John Barnes talking a couple of weeks ago saying that the league can be concluded at any time. Why don't we play at a safer time where we can have players playing in neutral venues with a couple of fans, but at a much safer time, even like December. You know, I agree with him, but when does season 2021 start? Next year? You know, so it's just a very difficult conversation. A couple of people have been comparing this discussion to Brexit, with the complexities around it, with people having different opinions. I had an episode a couple of weeks ago where I had 4 of my friends come on and talk to me, and we all had different opinions about if the league should start or not, why shouldn't it start. You get the picture. You get the picture. The Premier League top 20 clubs are battling to come to a conclusion to actually say we should play games at neutral venues. Now, what that has done this morning is that the top 6 Premier League clubs have actually threatened to vote to relegate the bottom 3 clubs if they don't vote for playing games this season. If those 3 clubs, Aston Villa, Norwich and Bournemouth, that have been in major speculation on the Daily Mail for the past couple of weeks, if they don't vote to play games at neutral venues, the top Premier League clubs will actually have a vote to relegate those 3. You heard me correctly. Relegate those 3. So it's a very funny time. It's a very funny time. I think the Premier League are doing the right thing, especially the top couple of clubs that are saying, if you guys don't vote, we will just choose to relegate you. Because it makes sense. They're kind of forcing those clubs' hands to start to play football again. They're forcing them to play, and they should. The top 3 Premier League clubs, or the bottom 3, sorry, the bottom 3 are all just protecting their own interests. They're just protecting the fact that they don't want to be relegated. That is not the rest of the league's problem. Other clubs have prepared for their own little expectations, except those clubs. So the reality is we need to basically take into account that the league needs to continue. The league needs to be concluded. The league needs to end. We need to end the Premier League. And I think the bottom 3 or 4 or 5 clubs that have been voting against the league playing at neutral venues, those clubs have been asking for trouble. Those clubs they are just being stubborn. I get that relegation means that their clubs will be hit with major financial repercussions. Is that the rest of the league's problem? No, it's not. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not. So I think that those clubs need to come to a consensus to want to play football again. They have to. They've got no choice. They have to. I genuinely think it's a good idea for these clubs to play. We start the league by mid-May and we end it by the end of July. So the Premier League clubs are having a vote on Monday to decide on whether they continue with the league or not, how they go about it, and do they continue at neutral venues. So stay tuned for Monday. I'll come through with that news. I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but from the way things are looking, we should have the Premier League back again. We should. So please follow me on Twitter at RWLeafGreen. Follow me on Instagram at The Dugout Podcast. And if you have any questions or want to come onto my show, you want to be a guest, hit me up, DM me, whatever. If you have my number on WhatsApp, personally message me and we can schedule a time for you. Yeah. So this is your boy Ryan Leaf. Have the best week. Stay safe, guys.